Often a question that people have about ministry and ministering to their world is just like, well, how do I talk about the Lord? That's a pretty common objection to, like, oh, I can be a minister to my world. I just don't even know how to like talk. Or maybe once in a blue moon I might possibly have a chance to like mention something about my latest church service or event that we did, but nothing meaningfully. And certainly after I've gone there once, what do I do? And I was talking with this dad this last week. We were having a little barbecue after a soccer game with the kids, and he's immigrant from the Middle East and Muslim, and I was just talking with him, and I was reminded about how important it is just to oftentimes ask questions, but oftentimes we think in asking questions we don't get to direct the conversation in any meaningful way, but rather actually directional question asking is one of the keys to conversation, to interaction, and talking about what we care about. And so I asked him questions about everything with the Middle East right now and Israel and his perspective, and engaged about those questions. I asked him about questions regarding his thoughts of being a Muslim in a nation that's more Christian than what he's used to, like what his perception of that is, and then asking kind of challenging questions about his perception of Christianity. And through that got into some really fun space of talking about faith and questions about faith. I was talking with another dad this last couple of weeks and just asking him, like, hey, I'm doing a small group meeting tomorrow, I think is what I was prepping for, maybe a sermon or something. I said, hey, just from your perspective, I know you're kind of agnostic, figuring things out. What are your thoughts when it comes to this topic that I'm going to be talking about with some of my friends, and just asking them, like, hey, what's your perspective of this? It's very open-ended. It's giving them the power. It's not so much preaching at them in that space, but I can, in asking questions, then challenge questions like, well, okay, your perspective of that. The Christian perspective would say, actually, this thing about how Jesus said he was God. Like, how do you see that? Or other kinds of conversation pieces come up. But directional questions, not just like, hey, what are your thoughts on God? But hey, in this context, what do you think? And you can often have some of those powerful questions in conversations just by asking the right kind of questions.